Hey, good evening, everybody. This is the weekend of Thanksgiving weekend. I hope you guys all had a great Thanksgiving and heading into our holidays, whether you're celebrating Hanukkah or Christmas. I know for me it's Advent season, so we're just all preparing the way. So I just was happy to be able to lead tonight's call because I just absolutely love our speaker tonight. And I'm a lead aspire. I'm a national marketing director on the Heat team and one of the NMDs. You all have different NMD leads. And I just got off a call with our CEO, Travis Garza, and ask your NMD for the call because it was so heartwarming. He's still on. And it was so good for me to hear his call and where he came from, his humble beginnings, and where he's going, and how much faith he has in our company and where we're heading. And I just really appreciated it really right now since we have this digital upgrade that we're all like wrestling with. And so nothing worthwhile is work, right? Talk about raising teenagers. They eventually end up pretty good human beings. So anyway, I'm not going to delay any further. I'm going to introduce our speaker. So our speaker is Holly Morris. She's a presidential marketing director with the Juice Plus Company. She's a people motivator, difference maker, a hope educator, and a business builder. I love that, Holly. She has a love for empowering, coaching, and inspiring others to live an intentional life, pursue their passions and dreams to be the best version of themselves. Holly is married to the love of her life. How cool is that? Ryan. Together, they have helped launch and still serve at Pure Hope Foundation, which exists to raise awareness and mobilize action against sex trafficking. She was the co-founder of EverFit, a faith-based wellness company. Holly has her master's degrees in communication sciences and disorders, is a licensed speech language pathologist, and a certified fitness trainer. She served as adjunct faculty on Abilene Christian University. Holly has three young adult children, Boston, Lexi, and Boone, who complete her life. Ah, that's so sweet, Holly. So sweet.
Thank you.
Oh,
That's all. You didn't have to read all that.
it was so cool. I loved it. So tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to interview Holly. She has a lot of really good thoughts, and I've always really got to learn more about Holly when I went to Pure Hope in Texas, and I got to meet her husband and her reasons why and all the rest of it. So you can just go ahead and spotlight Holly. I'm going to be asking you questions, Holly, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. So first of all, Holly, share something about you that nobody knows, that nobody really knows, but it's a fun fact. We'd like to know if there's something that, nobody really knows about you.
I know. I always struggle with that question. I'm like, I don't know. But one that comes to mind is that I have had three of my four limbs repaired in some way, restructured, reconstructed, all that kind of stuff, all from injuries.
Oh my gosh.
I know. My left, yeah, that is true. Yeah, my left hand is the only hand that hasn't had some sort of reconstructive surgery. My left arm. So
That's
it's kind of
amazing.
random, but
And everything's all working good right now?
it's all working good. And I still teach fitness classes. I'm really big about functional fitness and being ready and fit for whatever life throws at you. And a big part of that is injury prevention and stuff. And so clearly I need it. I need to
So
keep working
cool.
on it.
That is great. Often we hear of people's health being challenged before they're open to looking at healthier alternatives. Were you raised eating healthy? And how about your husband? And was this a big turnaround for you to navigate eating healthy? Like, did it start way back when, or did something happen to motivate you to get on this train?
Yeah, so I grew up really eating healthy. My mom always had, salads and fruits and vegetables at every meal. We used to laugh that like I was the family that never had soda drinks or sweet treats. I literally had carrots in a water jar and celery and stuff like that in the refrigerator for after school snacks. And so I really did grow up eating healthy. However, I was a sick kid. So I grew up with severe asthma and allergies all my life. My parents did the only thing they knew to do, which was medicate me. So I was on tons of medicines and inhalers and nebulizers and all kinds of things like that growing up. And then my husband, on the other hand, grew up totally not eating healthy. His parents just said they were just surviving and they were literally feeding him mashed potatoes as an infant. And, he was eating chocolate cake and drinking sodas and Kool-Aid, red dye Kool-Aid, and all the things. So, yeah, I ate healthy, but was a sick person. He did not eat healthy, but appeared to be fairly healthy. And so, that just goes to show that like we never know, right? No matter what people are eating or if they appear healthy, you never know what truly is happening internally, just because on the exterior they appear to be healthy. So yeah, so that's kind of where we were whenever I first heard about Juice Plus. And I was a fitness instructor. I've been a fitness instructor for a long time. And as a fitness instructor, people approach you with everything, right? Everybody's like, oh, you should look at this, you should sell that, you should take this, you should, whatever. And at that point in my life, I exercised so I could eat whatever, not feel guilty about eating whatever I wanted. So I would like try to eat healthy most of the time, or what I thought was healthy. But like I said, I was still really sick. And then I also still was like, well, I don't feel bad if I eat bad stuff because I work out like crazy. So that was kind of my philosophy then.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's always an interesting question because I'll usually at conferences and boot camps and stuff, I always ask my reps, ask people how they were introduced to Juice Plus. So how were you introduced? Was it through another door in our product line or was it Juice Plus specifically?
Yeah, so it was actually Juice Plus specifically. So we met this new couple and we'd had them over to hang out for a bit. And I was apologizing to her because I was super congested. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm not sick. I just have allergies. They're awful this time of year. And she was like, oh, okay. And I don't remember. I wish I could remember what she said, but really it doesn't matter what she said because it was how she made me feel. But she said something to the effect of, well, have you ever considered something nutritionally to help that, or what are you doing nutritionally to help fight your allergies, or I don't remember, something to that effect. And again, I had been approached with everything, so when she left me a CD at the time to listen to, she was like, just listen to this, and I'd love to know what you think about it. I honestly was kind of like, I'm never going to listen to that. But then I thought, she's a new friend, I don't want to totally offend her, like I'm going to listen to it so I can give her an educated no, as to why I'm not interested. And so I listened, and as I was listening, I was like, what? Real? Have they really found a way to concentrate fruits and vegetables? Because I know how good they are for you. I also know that I don't eat enough and I can't eat enough because honestly, I'm allergic to a lot of the ones that are in Juice Plus. And so I was like, that's so interesting. I wonder. And so then that got me curious. So I started asking her questions. And my husband likes to say we were closet takers for a while. We were like, well, we'll take it. And she'd be like, we should share it with people. And you have such a platform. And I'd be like, no, no, no. You know, I just want to try it. And it wasn't like we say, it's not a miracle pill, right? It was just over time. Really, I can remember the first year after I'd been on Juice Plus. Like I said, I have severe asthma and allergies. So October is my birthday month, and that's a huge trigger month for me where I was always, always sick. And it was like that first October that I was like, what's so weird? I haven't taken my allergy medicine and I haven't needed my inhaler. Like that's so weird, And then it was kind of like, huh. And so that kind of started. Well, then how could I not share it with people, right? So that's kind of how that transpired.
Wow. So basically, you were actually allergic to some of the ingredients in Juice Plus, but since you weren't masticating the actual fruit and they've taken all the sugar and the water out of it, you were able to consume it and not have that affect you.
Yeah, so I'm actually allergic to a lot of the things that touch my esophagus. It'll make
Right.
it swell up and everything. And so because it wasn't touching it, it was just going straight to my stomach and being digested so quickly, I could take it. So that's been a big blessing.
That's great. So what we can say is like, I don't know if this will happen for you, but in my situation, or when you say, well, your situation is I was highly allergic to this, this, and this, but what I found was that because of it consuming the capsule, it didn't bother me and I didn't have those allergies anymore. So
Yeah. And I really, caution people if you have someone who's highly allergic, they need to start super slow. They need to try like just one cat, like just the fruit for a week or two, make sure they're not going to have a bad, because we just never want to get anybody in a bad situation. So really I focus less on the fact that I was allergic to ingredients in the product and can take it, and more on the fact that just it helps support my immune system,
Yeah.
and the fact that with the supported immune system, my body was able to balance. So it's not a miracle pill. I still have the same allergies. And I know that actually for a fact because I was curious if I did or if I'd outgrown some of them. Because I wasn't being triggered by them so much. And so I had allergy testing done about 7 years ago. I had it done again and I lit up like a Christmas tree. They were like, oh my gosh, you are allergic to everything. And I'm like, still like I thought maybe I had outgrown them, they say,
Wow.
or things had changed. And so yeah, so it's just the fact that I think it helps support my immune system so that when I am triggered by those things my body can fight it better
Okay.
versus immediately getting sick with it.
That's wonderful. So, how then were you introduced to the business? Were you doing something else at the time that allowed you to pivot in that direction, or what was your actual experience being introduced to the business since you probably were doing something else at the time?
Yeah, so I was working full time as a speech pathologist and then teaching fitness classes in the mornings and the evenings on the side just as a passion. And I'm also very frugal. So when I started taking the product, she immediately introduced the business to me and was like, well, you could actually save a little bit of money if you wanted to. And so I actually signed up for the business and the product at the same time. And she tried really hard to cast vision for me. She got me on a three-way connection call with her upline. Like she did all the right things, but I was super close to it. I was like, no, I just want the discount. And so I did that for 3 or 4 years. And then it was really, once I'd had a personal experience with it and my husband had too, that I was like, okay, tell me a little bit more about this. And I had started just in small conversations with like family or whoever, just like, hey, I started taking this and I think it's really working. You might want to check it out. And so I'd gotten a few customers just like that, but I had not done any fast tracks or promotion kind of things. Um, and then it was, I don't know, 4 or 5 years into it that I was like, okay. And honestly, it was when they got me to a couple of events that I met the people. And when I met the people that are in our community, that I was kind of like, oh, wow. Like these are really smart, great people doing all kinds of things in life. There's teachers and doctors and nurses and stay-at-home moms and coaches and, personal trainers and all these people that are also doing Juice Plus. Like, that's interesting. So that's really what, got me my curiosity peaked. And so I'm like, okay, tell me how this would work if I wanted to try. And so I made it to sales coordinator and stayed there for a long time. And then we did have a transition in life where we moved. And it was at that point that I was like, I wonder if I treated this like a business and worked it like a business, if I wouldn't have to go back to work, as much as I was in speech path and training and stuff like that. And so that's when I kind of really set business goals and tried to work it hard.
That's great. That's great. So you did it something for a little while that most people wouldn't do to get where you wanted to go eventually,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And I
So
have to give a huge shout out to my uplines for honoring me along that journey, right? They were always inspiring to me and asking me good questions and trying to cast vision for me, but they were never pushy and they never accepted my no, not right now. And so I was never offended. So they kept me in their pocket, so to speak. Do you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So when the timing was right for me, and I think that's important because I think we can be really pushy and we can overwhelm people and not honor them where
yeah,
they are. And whether, what Whitney Campbell says, right? Whether you're doing a little or a lot, you're a blessing. And so I think we want to really honor those people that are doing a little because that little is a big blessing to many of us. And so I just want to thank my uplines for doing that with me.
that's awesome. I totally agree with you. Okay, for a little transparency, Holly, how about your relatives and do your kids take it religiously? Are they all sold on it? I know a lot of times our relatives, they usually used to say, if you can get past your family, you're going to be successful. And I know the
Yes.
people that we think will be great at it won't, and the people that we think won't will. And so
Yeah.
have your kids ever experienced, I'm not taking this, I don't feel anything, or your husband, or do you find your family members who are all on board in the beginning, or how did you navigate through that?
Yeah, definitely not all on board from the beginning. My mom was, she was super supportive. She eventually got my dad going. The kids I had a 2-year-old at the time when I started it, and he hated all of it. And so as he got older, I just tell people, parents all the time that struggle, I'm like, for me, it was like if my kid was sick and needed a medicine, I would find a way to get it in him. And so for me, this was like that important. And so I just kept working, with them and be like, okay, we can make a chart and you can show me that you are eating 7 different fruits and vegetables every single day. Or you could swallow this capsule, or you could chew these, and so we played around with it. We had some struggles, but once they got it, they've all taken it regularly, since they were young. And so now they're 22, 20, and 19, and they all take it. And I'm so thankful because my oldest son played football. He just graduated last May, and my youngest son is playing football right now on a full ride scholarship at Kansas State. And it's
Wow.
so amazing because they can take it and be fine because they're very, very strict that they cannot take anything that is not NSF certified. And
Yeah.
they test them and they check everything that they're putting into their bodies. And so the fact that he can still take his Juice Plus, is I think a huge testament to the fact that our company has gone through that process to have those certifications.
That's great. My son played professional baseball, and it was the only product he can have in his
Yeah.
locker, which is really great. So
Yeah.
now there's a big question. After developing a successful Juice Plus franchise, and you still are, I mean, you're still very successful in my eyes. I mean, success has a lot to do with the other aspects of your life, but I was so overly impressed and moved by your decision for you and your husband to move from the comforts of where you were living to help Catherine Lee with her mission to help women who are being sex trafficked. And so was that an overall passion of yours, or what made you guys decide and get your husband on board to have him also join you in this unbelievable ministry?
Yeah, so honestly, I did not understand the issue of trafficking at all. I thought it was a third world country issue. I had no idea it was the second largest criminal industry in the United States. And I didn't know Catherine, so I'm not in her organization at all with Juice Plus.
Oh,
I don't know if you knew that. Most people think that we
no.
are, but no. And so I didn't really know Catherine. I had heard her train, of course, because she's such an amazing teacher and trainer, but I didn't know her. And so she was speaking, doing a little tour, making a life and leaving a legacy. And she was coming through Austin, Texas, which is where we were living at the time. And I heard her give a talk on, whether you're making $50 a month with your business, or you're making 500, or you're making 5,000. Like, what are you doing in your daily decisions and choices to leave a legacy in this world? And it was just really inspiring. At that point, she was literally holding up a poster board, a dream board, if you guys have ever done dream boards. So she was holding up a dream board with cutout pictures of this beautiful ranch with equine therapy, with tower gardens, with this hope home where women who had been trafficked could come and be restored. And so that was really the first I'd heard of it. And I was just like, wow, that's incredible that they're doing this, that their Juice Plus business has allowed them to do that, that they are people who want to give back so much. And I came home and shared that with my husband, and I was like, I just want to be able to help in some way, like maybe financially we can just help make a donation regularly. And that's really kind of what I thought about it. Well, I always say that your uplines in Juice Plus are your dream keepers, because have you ever like had a dream and maybe you've spoken it out loud, or it's been on your dream board, but then sometimes life happens and it feels like that dream's getting further and further away. And we can kind of forget what our dreams are, or kind of be like, meh, that's not gonna happen. Well, when I made NMD, I was asked on a call like this, if time and money and all of that weren't an obstacle as you grow your business, what would you want to do? And my husband and I were on the call together, and we looked at each other and we were like, we would run a retreat center. Like, retreats have been huge to us, and camps, and growing up, and we've taken our family to family camps. And so we were like, we would have some sort of leadership retreat center. So I had kind of forgotten that dream because life had happened and we'd moved and things, were circling around. But my upline, Kathy Crockett, remembered that. And she knew that part of Catherine and Michael's dream with Pure Hope Ranch was to eventually have a retreat center and to have a family camp. And I didn't even remember hearing that as a part of her vision. And so Kathy kept saying, y'all need to talk. Y'all need to get together. I feel like, y'all's hopes and dreams for the future could really align. And so then later, fast forward a year or so, Michael and Catherine found the property that they wanted to do Pure Hope Foundation on, and it was in Texas. And at that point, we had moved and we were in Dallas. It was like 2 hours away. So we were like, well, maybe we could go volunteer. And so they invited us to come meet with them, and we met. And that was really the first time we had met in person to like, really powwow together. And that was probably 11 years ago now or so, because we've been here 10
Wow.
years.
You've been there
And
in 11 years?
yes, isn't
What?
that crazy?
Hmm.
Yeah. And so yeah, so that's how it kind of got started. And we realized we had gifts and skill sets that could help them help Pure Hope Foundation get off the ground and come to fruition. And we just felt called and led and took a leap of faith. And our business, our Juice Plus business, was a big comfort in doing that because we knew that we could have some income because we were going to be giving up all of my husband's salary, which was he was the breadwinner. And that was a big, scary, risky thing. But we just felt confident that God would work things out, and taking that leap, and He totally has. And I moved, so we were living in Dallas at the time, and where we are now is a town of 3,500 people. And when we moved, my why was so big then that my business went from a barely, barely new NMD of probably like I don't know, maybe 12 club. I don't even know if I was 12 club for sure then. And during that year, we jumped to from 39 to 50 club within a year, and then later made it to 75. And so I think a lot of people are like, oh, I live in a tiny town. I can't do this, but I actually went from a huge town to a tiny town and grew. But it was just, I think, because my why was so big and, um, just wasn't having any qualms about telling people what we were doing and why we were doing it and how we were trying to support ourselves.
I bet you your sons are so proud and happy that you guys have done that, right?
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I think they are. I think they are. Of course, they were young when we did it. They were in fourth and seventh grade. And
Oh my gosh. So do you live
yeah,
in Tyler now or what is it?
it's called Mount Vernon. It's a
Mount
little
Vernon.
tiny,
Yeah.
tiny
Right.
town out in East Texas.
Right. So you live really close to the ranch then.
Yes, yeah, we're right across from the range.
Okay.
My
Yeah, it was
commute to work now
beautiful.
to work and do the event because I'm the
Yeah.
events coordinator there as well. So I run all the retreats and events,
Right.
which again was my dream, right? Which is really cool.
Yeah.
And so my commute is about maybe 2 minutes,
That's great.
if that.
I think that's a really good thing to do is to ask our teams what their dreams are. I think we've gotten away from it, especially right now with this digital upgrade. We're
Yeah.
really navigating through that and just kind of trying to deal with it. I always tell my team, this is why we get paid what we get paid, because we have to be on now and like really help our teams and our customers navigate, get onto their customer portals and do this. But asking them why they actually are doing the business and even our customers, why are they taking it to revisit that? You've been healthy
Yes.
for 15
That's good.
years. You've been healthy for 10 years. You don't want to stop taking it now. So I just think, do you have like words of encouragement for people, reps that are thinking about like, gosh, just the tough times? I'm sure you've had
Yeah.
tough times before in the business,
Oh,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I mean, I'm in a really tough season myself now. So that growth happened, when we first moved here. But like I said, we've been here 10 years. So since then, I've hit a real slope on the going on the other end. And so yeah, it would be easy to throw up our hands and just be like, this is too frustrating and too many things that feel complicated. And so my encouragement, this is where I'm at. We know that we know that we know that our products are amazing. We know that they're changing lives, right? So if we can focus on our products and our customers and new customers because our products are so good, right? That is a huge, huge thing. And then for me, this community has been so incredible. Like I know that God brought me to this business to bring me to these people, so that we can do what we're doing with Pure Hope Foundation. And if you guys don't know this, the majority, Pure Hope Foundation is all privately funded. We don't take government money, which is amazing because we don't have all the red tape and stuff that comes along with that. So we're completely privately funded, and the majority of our donors come from the Juice Plus community. Well, why is that? It's because it's a community of people who really care about people. You know, they're
Oh
not
my
just
gosh.
trying to make a dollar, but they're trying to make a dollar so that Catherine always talks about this business being a so that business, so that they can do good in this world. And many of them partner with us to do that. Some partner with other organizations or other things that are close to their heart.
Mm,
But it's a I think really draws people in who want to do good and make a difference in the world. And like I said, it's not all about the dollar. Yes, we want to make money and this is a way we can help support ourselves and our families, but we also want to do good. And so I just know that I know that God has brought all that together, and that he'll sustain us or he'll lead other directions. But I just, you know, I just think we have to control the controllables, right? What can I control? I can control my attitude. I can control the way I can be a blessing to people and continue just to try to do that to the best of my ability for customers and team.
that's great. I really agree with you. And I've been digging into Arthur Brooks, who talks and studies deeply about what happiness is. And he says that
Mhm.
last component is if you're not giving back in some way, you can never fulfill that empty hole that you have that's constantly wanting more. It's almost like you have to be giving back somehow. You have to have a meaning, a legacy, something you're leaving, and if we don't have that, we're constantly being chasing something that is not really there. So I really
Yes, which
admire you and Ryan so much about your decision to do that. I mean, we talk about creating a business that can launch you into something that has given you so much satisfaction, you
it
know.
is, and I have to tell you, we welcomed our very first new interns. So the women that we serve who've been victims of sex trafficking, we call our interns because they come here and they live here for at least a year and do an internship with us, really, because they're getting their education, life coaching, all kinds of things to be able to stand on their own 2 feet out in life. And so it really is more of an internship than a program. And but anyway, so we just welcomed our first young lady into the new Hope Home. And if any of you guys participated in the Pajama Regional funded the Healthy Living Kitchen. So all of our young ladies take Juice Plus, or they have the option to, which they have all chosen to, because we educate them on what it is. And so it's provided free for them through people in our community who choose to donate Juice Plus to us. They have a tower garden, so they're eating healthy off the tower gardens. They've been living for years and years off dollar menus and gas station food. So they come very malnourished. And so they learn to make healthy meals. And like I said, our Juice Plus community has been such a huge part of that through like Pajama Regional and things like that to give back and help us create a space like the Healthy Living Kitchen for them to have that healing. And I'm just going to throw this out there. I didn't plan on, but just because we're talking, I feel led to. We actually have a campaign right now going on. If any of you are interested in partnering with us even more, and it's $12 a month. We're looking for 12 people to do $12 a month, and then to consider if they want to do even more, finding 12 people to do the same thing. So it's basically similar to what we do with Juice Plus, right? Finding ones, getting people to share with other people.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
but
that's
but I
cool.
want to invite if there's 12 of you on your team who would be interested in doing $12 a month, then that's a 12 for 12. And so you can just find information at purehopefoundation.com. But that's just one. A lot of people can do $12 because it's not too overwhelming per month. So if
So
that's
that's
something you're interested in,
$144 for the year. It's
yeah.
$144. Do you prefer to have people pay the $12 a month, or does it matter?
I
Can they
don't,
just,
it doesn't matter. We will take any donation however we can get it because that's how we get to
I'll
do
be
what
your
we
first
do.
one on this call to do
Yay! Thank you, Alita. Thank you,
that.
thank you.
Yeah, awesome. I'm just so grateful for what you guys have done with those gals, and it was so heartwarming being there. So we have
Well,
like
we
one
loved having
minute
you.
left. If anybody would like to ask one more question, you unmute yourself. If you have a question for Holly, I'm just really proud and happy to have her on a call tonight. Now, there's a lot of people that are listening to this after the fact because there's been a lot of calls tonight for some.
Yeah, I understand.
So does anybody have any calls? And maybe we could put it on view the gallery right now so that we can see everyone. I don't know what happened to, oh, there you are. here. Uh,
Yeah, I changed mine to gallery so I can see.
Heidi, did you change it to gallery?
I thought I did. I just need to remove the
Oh,
spotlight. There we
here,
go.
I can just view it. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Does anybody have any questions for Holly at this point? Or anybody want to volunteer to do support for $12 a month? Oh, Heidi, awesome.
Thank
That's so
you.
great.
Yeah, I'll reach out to you, Holly.
Awesome. Thank
Awesome.
you.
So anybody want to say anything about thanking her? That'd be so great. Unmute yourself. Let's give her a big send off and a happy Thanksgiving. So grateful for
Thank you,
your
Holly. This
Thank
was
you, Holly. Your
great.
story is inspiring.
Thank you, Holly.
Thank you guys for having me.
Very inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you
Take
so
care,
much.
everybody.
Can we
Good
just go
story.
on the website and donate?
Yes,
on-
just purehopefoundation.com and it's right there. You can donate however you'd like there.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
God
guys.
bless you. And, our prayers are with you too. And we'll get
Thank
through
you.
all this craziness together and have a
Yes, we
happy
will.
holiday. If I don't personally see any of you for the next 3 weeks, please, I want you to have a very happy holiday and a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you are celebrating. God bless you all. And thank you so much for being on the call tonight. Thank you, Holly.
Thanks, guys. You're
Thank
welcome. Have a great
you.
night, everybody.
Holly. Thank you.
Go, Holly!
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.